Florida Tech Women's Soccer is on the air tonight from Rick Stoller Field on the campus of Florida Tech. It's another Sunshine State Conference matchup as the Florida Tech Panthers welcome their neighbors to the west, the Tampa Spartans. And a pleasant good evening, everyone. J.C. Miles with you on the Panther website, FloridaTechSports.com, along the SSC Digital Network. Florida Tech coming in with a 9-2-2 record. They're 6-1-1 in the Sunshine State Conference, and they are the top dog in the conference. They're all alone in first place. You might recall last year they shared the top spot with Embry-Riddle, and they were seeded 1 in the tiebreaker as far as the number 1 seed last year. Panthers haven't totally clinched the top spot, but with a win tonight, they can take a giant step toward that. They are 4 points up on Rollins, and they're 5 points up on Nova. And, of course, for the Hurricane, this is a makeup game from the hurricane that came through. I guess it was Milton or it could have been Helene, but this game was supposed to take place about 3 weeks to a month ago, and they finally were able to reschedule it on a Monday night. So the Panthers on a roll. They've won 3 in a row. They've gone 6-0-1 in their last 7. Their most recent win was a win over Lynn. That was this past Wednesday by the score of 2-1. Panthers led 1-0 at the half. Rebecca Storr scored her first career goal, off an assist from Marta Yopis. And then in the 76th minute, Daniela Taubin scored what proved to be the game-winning goal off an assist from Jimena Jaregi. Caitlin Sigler with a pretty easy game. She had 0 saves. Florida Tech pretty much dominating the game in shots, 20-4, in shots on goals, 7-1, and in corner kicks, 5-0. And yet they only won 2-1 as Lynn was able to score a goal and actually take a 1-0 lead at the half, but Florida Tech with 2 second-half goals to win it. As far as Tampa, kind of an unusual season. They have 5 wins and 1 loss. That sounds good. And then they have 7 ties. So they're 5-1-7 overall, and they're 1-1-6 in the Sunshine State Conference. And that's it's really something because they have 1 loss on the season, and yet they're tied for 7th with Eckerd in the SSC. And ties seem to come by this team because last year they were 5-5-6 and 1-4-5 in the conference. They were tied for 8th with Barry. They were picked number 7 in the Sunshine State Conference preseason poll. Florida Tech was picked number 3rd. So it's been kind of a strange season for the Spartans. And if they're going to make the postseason, they're going to have to win out and get a lot of help because they only have 9 points. I mean, they are taking the top 8 teams this year. In fact, there are no byes. 1 is going to play 8, 2 is going to play 7, 3 is going to play 6, 4 is going to play 5. So actually, they're in a fairly good spot. They're tied with Eckerd with 9 points. But just 2 points behind is Palm Beach Atlantic, and just 3 points behind is Florida Southern. So at this point, everybody is still alive to make the conference tournament. Well, the 2 teams are coming out to the pitch. The last game for Tampa was a 1-1 tie at home against St. Leo. So the 2 teams are going out to the pitch. Matt Padway is going to have our starting lineups right about now. Our national anthem from Rick Stoller Field on the campus of Florida Tech as both teams exchange pleasantries. So let's recap those starters for Tampa in goal. It's Smith. They go with 4 forwards. I mean, some of these forwards might be midfielders, but they're listed as forwards. Dennis, Brinius, Wold, and O'Leary. They only have one midfielder listed as a starter, that being Russell. And then on defense, they're going with 5 defenders: Whitten, Carlholm, Brannon, Armas, and Holschauer. Erin Switalski, their head coach in her 10th season. Brecksville, Ohio native. Graduate of Campbell University in North Carolina, 2005. For Florida Tech, of course, their head coach, Kate Friels, in her first year. Auburn graduate, 2011. Homewood, Alabama, her hometown. And as far as the Florida Tech starters, what a year Caitlin Sinkler is having. She is starting in goal. Panthers go with 2 forwards, Yopis and Pachaji. They go with 4 midfielders, Oxley, Oldmark, Mottershed, and Tobin. And on defense, you have Carroll, along with Helga Daughter, Haureggi, and Storr. Again, a special moment for Rebecca Storr in the team's last match, scoring her first career goal, and that was an important one. That actually tied the game, and then Daniela Tobin scored the game winners. The Panthers beat Lynn on the road by the score of 2-1. As far as Tampa, again, a 1-1 tie at home against St. Leo. Nellie Brinius scored the tying goal in the 56th minute. That was unassisted as St. Leo led 1-0 at the half, and again, that ended up with a 1-1 tie. So again, the Panthers pretty comfortable in first place. Again, 4 points up on Rollins. Now keep in mind they lost to Rollins, so if there was going to be a tiebreaker involved, which I don't know if that's possible, but if so, that was the only Panther loss in conference. Rollins is going to be at Florida Southern on Wednesday. So as far as the Sunshine State Conference, Barry has a non-conference game. This is the only conference game on this Monday night, but there are going to be some big games on Wednesday. Rollins will be at Florida Southern. Nova's going to be at Embry-Riddle. Nova is also going to be at Eckerd on Friday. And then Embry-Riddle is going to, again, be at Nova on Wednesday. And then you got St. Leo at Eckerd on Wednesday. And again, the top 8 teams make the conference tournament. That's a change from last year. Again, last year it was the top 2 teams had byes, and then 3 would play 6, 4 against 4 would play 5. But now 1 is going to play 8, 2 is going to play 7, 3 is going to play 6, 4 is going to play 5. So even if Florida Tech wins the conference, they're going to have to go right into quarterfinal play, and that would be a week from today. And the Panthers should have a home match, at least one, if not a couple, to try and get to another championship game. Again, they have been stymied the last 3 years by Embry-Riddle in the Sunshine State Conference tournament championship game. They've had to rely on an at-large bid. Well, that at-large bid certainly turned out well last year as the Panthers made it to the Final Four in Matthews, North Carolina. Unfortunately, they lost to Point Loma, who did go on and win the national championship. So no shame there. Point Loma is a school out of California. Colorado School of Mines, the number 1 team in the country. Lenore Ryan, who Florida Tech lost to. That was their other loss. They're number 9. Florida Tech is actually number 13. Grand Valley State, they've won like 6 titles in 12 years. Don't hold me to that, but something like that. Point Loma, the defending national champion, is 23rd. Embry-Riddle is 25th. So Sunshine State Conference well represented in the coaches' national poll. So we're underway here from Florida Tech. The weather looks pretty good, a little bit windy, but a very comfortable night this election eve. Tomorrow will be very interesting. I'll just leave it at that. All right, here's Oxley, and we got a foul on Tampa. Oxley is being defended by her fellow number 3, Zoe Whitten. So 30 seconds in, Florida Tech will have the possession. It comes back to Carroll at midfield. Carroll will go over to Haureggi, trying to make a move. Ball chipped left side, shy of the 18-yard area. With it is Oldmark. Right side to Pachaji, giving go Oldmark, but the ball taken away by the Spartans. They look to get it out of their own end. Good pressure by Florida Tech, but this one will go over the goal line, and it'll be a goal kick for Aiden Smith. So Smith this year has allowed 12 goals in 13 games. She's played just about every minute, 54 saves and 5 shutouts, 0.94 goals against average. In fact, she's played every minute except 23 minutes and 41 seconds. So 0.94 goals against average this year. She was 0.63 last year, so she's a returning keeper and a very good one. All right, Tampa with their first possession. Back is Mothershed trying to defend against Russell. And let's see, the ball goes out of bounds. Florida Tech will throw it in. Mothershed to do the honors, gets it into Oxley. Oxley, of course, the local product out of Vieira High. Gives to Yopis, long pass. Pachaji trying to catch up to it before it goes out of bounds. She has it at the midfield line. Sarah left side, Jauregui. Jauregui running the left side, being defended tightly. See if she tries to cross it. She's penetrating down the goal line, and it's taken away nicely by the Spartans. So the Panthers, as usual, home white, high white socks, crimson numbers, and Tampa mostly black with kind of reddish crimson numbers on the back and the high black socks. And their primary school colors are black and red. So Tampa will have a throw-in on the far side. Not much of a crowd tonight. I mean, I think the word got out that we're going to have a Monday night soccer game. It's on the schedule, but maybe some people didn't get the memo. But again, this is a rescheduling of the one that was postponed due to the hurricane from about 3 weeks ago. Again, it could have been Helene or Milton. I can't really keep track of that, but it's good that they were able to reschedule. It's a big match. Loose ball. Sinkler's loose, and it's a shot wide. Wow, that was close. Sinkler not able to get to it. Goes out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for Tampa. So the Spartans almost had a 1-0 lead. They've scored 19 goals this year. They've allowed 12, and that's an improvement over last year where they only scored 13 goals in 16 games. Now, the good news was they only allowed 10 last year. They've allowed 12 this year. So they're up in scoring, and they're also down in giving up goals. Ball goes out of bounds, and it'll be a Tampa throw-in. Throwing it in will be 21, Holshauser. She's out of Davie, Florida, which is down near the Fort Lauderdale area. Ball chipped to the right side of the 18-yard area. Header high up in the air. Florida Tech trying to clear it. Comes about 25 yards out as Tampa's trying to keep it in the immediate area. They have it far side. And the ball is shot out of bounds by the Panthers. It'll be another Tampa throw-in. Again, Erin Svitalski, a Campbell graduate from 2005, native of Brecksville, Ohio, in her 10th year at the helm for Tampa. Spartans have one NCAA appearance in the last 9 years. That happened in 2015. They did win the national championship way back in 2007. In fact, they went the limit with Franklin Pierce, a scoreless tie, and then they won the penalty kicks. So, again, that was 17 years ago, but they do have one title to their record. Of course, their volleyball team very strong over the years. They have multiple national titles. This ball is almost on the left sideline. Florida Tech able to keep it in. Tampa trying to center it. It goes out of bounds. The Tampa volleyball team, once again, is very good. And I got to mention the Panther volleyball team in first place in the conference. What a job by Jordan Willis, the second-year head coach. Volleyball doing some great things this year, and they actually beat Tampa recently, which is the first time they've ever really done that. All right, ball goes out of bounds. It's off the side of the net, and Caitlin Sinkler will have a goal kick. Of course, Sinkler had to sit behind Ayana Ayagi last year. She's played all but 45 minutes this year. She's allowed 9 goals in 13 games, a 0.72 goals against average, 21 saves, and she has 5 shutouts. She's in the baby blue kind of UCLA look. And the other end, you've got Aiden Smith and mostly red with high red socks. All right, Tampa trying to control it in their own end. We got 39-26 to go in this first half, no score. Again, really the only good chance so far was Tampa getting into the doorstep of Sinkler, and they shot the ball wide. Sinkler way out of her net. She'll simply shoot it out of bounds, allow her teammates to get back defensively, and Tampa will have another throw-in. So, again, not much of a crowd tonight. Hopefully some people will be filing in. If not, hope you enjoy the broadcast tonight. Ball sent to Sinkler. She gobbles it up on the left side. Again, Sinkler, 5'8 junior out of Decatur, Georgia. Panthers trying to work it out of their own end with Mottershed. Or actually, I guess it's Motter's head. Here comes the ball out of bounds toward the Tampa sideline. One of the reserves decides to head it just to be cute as the ball goes out of bounds. And Tampa will have a throw-in. Throwing it in once again will be Holshower. Love that name. First name is Lauren. Ball out of bounds. And let's see. Florida Tech will have a throw-in about 5 yards in front of the corner kick stick, deep in their own end. Mottershed throws it into a crowd. Comes back out to Whitten. Loose in the middle of the field, about 20 yards out. Tampa trying to control it. Comes back to Holshower. And Tampa will regroup at midfield as it goes to Armas. Far right side, it's Carlholm. Tampa making a run on the far side. There's a cross, top of the 18-yard area. Panther player goes down, not a Tampa player. That's good for Florida Tech. Can't take down an offensive player in that penalty area, or it's a penalty kick. All right, Tampa's still with us. They've controlled most of the action so far. Panthers trying to break through as they approach the midfield line. Pass by Oxley, right side to Haureggi. Haureggi going one-on-one with Brannon. Battle for the ball. And Brannon able to send it up toward midfield. It goes out of bounds. It'll be a Panther throw-in. Fairly deep in Tampa's territory. So again, a beautiful night for soccer. Got a nice breeze going, probably about 5 miles per hour. This is November 4th. Already in November. Nice to see the weather cool off a little bit. Had a bit of a rain shower today, but looks beautiful here tonight. Tampa will send this ball out of bounds. It'll be a Panther throw-in near the Tampa bench. Again, Erin Switalski in her 10th year. She was an assistant coach at Florida Gulf Coast College, which has now gone Division I in the last few years. She's also been an assistant at Lynn and Austin Peay, so she has taken the typical coaching road. That goes in front of Sinkler, goes the other side of the field. So she's like most coaches. Doesn't matter what the sport is, you pay your dues. And now head coach here at Tampa for her 10th season and has a good program going. Again, a lot of ties, though, this year, but they've been competitive. Again, only one loss. Ball loose, drive midfield. It's Storr. She will drop it back to Mottershead. Middle of the field, skips past Storr, and taken in by Whitten. Zoe Whitten with it. She's out of Denver. Denver, Colorado, that is. Chipped up ahead. Ball loose, and Sinkler comes pretty far out of her net. No pressure. She will secure the ball. And she'll tap it left side. Goes to Bachaji. Sarah trying to make a move. To Haureggi. Trying to get it to Storr. Haureggi now has it back. A little bit of bumper cars. Player goes down. Foul on Tampa. So Panther throw in at midfield. Again, the Panthers 9-2-2, 6-1-1 overall, and looking pretty good to clinch first place. They still have some business to do. I mean, they got Barry on the road on Thursday. It's always tough to go down to Miami Shores, but Florida Tech will certainly be favored in that game. Barry is tied for 6th with Lynn. So this is the regular season home finale, the regular season finale in Miami Shores Thursday, and then we'll see where the dominoes fall for the SSC tournament, which is going to begin a week from today. All right, with it is Helga Daughter, gives it to Mottershed. Loose ball at Storr, being heavily defended. Now to Yopis. Over to Taubin. Again, she had the game-winning goal against Lynn this past Wednesday. Haureggi over the midfield line feeds Pachaji. Panthers have some good numbers. Pachaji, far right side. Gives it back to Haureggi. She'll now regroup, send it back to Carroll at midfield. Lydia, middle of the field, Taubin. Now back to Helga Daughter. Sends a long one. Looking for Bachaji, didn't quite get there, and Tampa will have the possession as they approach the midfield line. Tampa making a run down the far side. There's a pass outside the 18-yard area to the right, and Florida Tech takes it away. Jauregui with it, gives to Yopis. Back to Helga Daughter. To Carroll, over to Bachaji. So the Panthers very technical with their passing, trying to be careful here. Some light pressure by the Spartans. Helga Daughter with it. Gives to Mottershead, freshman out of Manchester, England. Trying to feed it to Storr, but Storr is beaten to the ball by Dennis. And the Spartans trying to get it back to midfield, but it goes out of bounds. It'll be a Panther throw-in right in front of first-year head coach Katie Friels. Again, the Auburn grad. Boy, Auburn football, they're not having a very good year. Ball thrown in. Would they just lose to Vanderbilt, I think? Jeez. Vanderbilt, not too bad. Anyway, Storr with it, back to midfield. In the big circle in midfield, it's Helga Daughter trying to control it. She'll send a long pass near right side, trying to control it is Oldmark. It goes out of bounds, and it's off Tampa. Florida Tech throw-in, not very far from the corner kick stick, pretty deep in the Tampa end as we're down to 32-18 to go in the first half, and no score. Panthers looking for their first significant chance here. Here's Mottershead. There's a shot. Oh, just over the net. Missed it by that much, over the crossbar. Down a little bit lower. If that could have been a split-finger fastball, might have gone the upper corner of the net, but just missed it. So Aiden Smith with the goal kick. She's out of Bokeelia, Florida. I have no idea where that is. Another town in Florida that's a mystery. Bokeelia. Does anybody know? That's the first time I've ever heard that name. Must be a small town. Anyway, it comes back to Sinkler in the Panther net. There are so many small towns in Florida, I can't keep up with it. Here is Sinkler giving it to Helga Daughter. Hotla bringing it up right in front of the Tampa bench, and she will drop it back to Sinkler. Panthers bringing it up. Midfield line, Jauregui. Left side, Bachaji. Sour pass back to Jauregui. Panthers about 25 yards out from net. Bachaji left side to, she now gets it back. Now to Tobin. Danielle sends it, middle of the 18-yard area. And Oxley with a header and a goal. Making the Vieira High Hawks nation very proud. Beautiful setup there, and it is 1-0 Florida Tech. So 30-49 remaining, and Florida Tech scores. So Oxley with a goal, assist Tobin. So for Oxley, that is her second goal of the year, and for Tobin, she now leads the team in assists with 4. So 1-0 Florida Tech. Beautiful pass there by Tobin, finding the head of Oxley, and she headed it in. Really nothing that Aiden Smith could do with that one. All right, Tobin with it. She'll drop it back to Sinkler. There's a pass to Jauregui to Yopis. Yopis trying to get away from Dennis. Dennis shadowing her. Comes back in the Tampa end to Brannon. Back to midfield. Panthers have it with Yopis. Kind of a blind pass. Nobody there but a black shirt. That black shirt is Russell. And Tampa going the other way. And taken away. Jauregui with it. To Oldmark. Panthers will regroup. Oldmark back to Carroll, over to Bachaji. So 1-0 Florida Tech. We got 29:42 to go in this first half. Again, the regular season home finale. Panthers open a finish up their home season in style, and then go to Barry Thursday for the regular season finale. Trying to hold on to first place. I guarantee you one thing: if they win tonight and win Thursday, they will clinch first place. Rollins still within reach, and again they have the tiebreaker. That's the only conference loss for the Panthers. That was to Rollins. Their only other loss was to Lenore Rhine, very familiar opponent from the postseason. Bajaji with it over the midfield line. Comes over middle of the field. Helga Daughter, nice move. Over the midfield line, middle of the field, left side, trying to connect with Howreggi, didn't quite get there. Ball loose, Oxley, back to Taubin. Taubin a good 40 yards out from net. To Yopis. Marta to Oldmark. Shot is just a bit wide. Nice shot there by Nora, but it just went wide. Oldmark, the 5'7" junior out of Stockholm, Sweden, the transfer from Azusa Pacific. That is in California, kind of in southern Cal on the eastern side. So Aiden Smith, again out of Bokeelia, Florida, sends it up to midfield. Comes back at the Tampa end. Storr trying to chase it down, but beaten to the ball by Tampa. But now Howreggi with it, about 30 yards out. Middle of the field. Yopis trying to connect with Mottershed, didn't quite get there. And Tampa trying to control it in their own end with it as Holshower. Pass up the midfield. Helga Daughter intercepts, gives the Yopis. Yopis pass, touch pass from Storr to Mottershed. Trying to send a bit of a through ball to Howreggi. Now Storr with it, but taken away by the Spartans, but intercepted by Mottershed. There's a cross, a little bit too far for Oxley. Comes to Bachaji. Sarah trying to get a shot off, does a 360. She'll regroup it back to Oxley. Now the Panthers back toward midfield, about 40 yards out. Taubin trying to work her magic. Again, the assist on that goal by Oxley, and we got something. All right. Mystery Theater. But Florida Tech has it. And intercepted. And that's going to be a foul on Storr as she knocked down Russell. 26:45 to go in the first half. Florida Tech off to a 1-0 lead. That was the 27th goal that Florida Tech has scored this year. They've allowed just 11. That's a really good percentage. That's a plus 16. No wonder they're 9-2-1. Ball out of bounds at midfield. Panther throw in at midfield. Mottershed will do the honors. We're gonna have to track the men tonight. They're playing Tampa, and in fact, they started an hour early, so we'll try and get an update on that when we can. Big game for the men because talk about that here in a minute. Here's Howreggi. Howreggi shot right on goal, and a nice save there by Smith. Had to be alert for that one, right in the middle of the net. You know, the bad news for the Panther men is they're in fifth place, but the good news is they're only 1 point out of second because Nova, Palm Beach Atlantic, and Rollins are all tied for second, and then Florida Tech's just 1 point behind. So, I mean, who knows where they're going to finish? I mean, more than likely they're going to make the tournament. Here comes Storr, right side, and the flag is up. That is an offside. So the Panther men, under Coach Robinson and Coach Chan, they have some work to do. They could very easily move up, or they could move down. Who knows? They're right in the middle there. All right, so Tampa with a kick here. We have had no subs yet. 25-12 to go in the first half. With a kick here is Holshower. And the ball goes all the way to Sinkler in the Panther goal. Carroll will go far side. Bachaji to Howreggi. Over the midfield line, past to Oldmark. And she gets shoved in the back. That'll be a foul on Tampa. A little shove there. Nothing too bad. Panther kick. Quickly, they get it in to Helga Daughter. Over for Mottershead to Tobin. Drop it back. Carroll. Left side, Pachaji. Good 35 yards from net. Trying to cross it into the 18-yard area, looking for Oldmark. And this one goes over the goal line and evidently off of Tampa. So Florida Tech will get their first corner kick of the match. And let's see, it looks like Yopis is going to take it. The wind picking up a little bit, probably about 10 miles per hour. I want to say it's blowing east to west. Or maybe southeast to northwest, something like that. Nice breezy night here at the stadium. All right, Mottershead off the right foot, curls it toward the net, into the crowd. Headed high up in the air, trying to settle it, Jauregui. Back to Yopis. Shot toward the net. Header. Loose. Where is it? It's a goal. All right, that went into a crowd. Florida Tech scores. We do know the assist is going to go to Yopis. And we'll get the goal score here in a minute. Sarah Pachaji with a goal. So Pachaji with the goal, Yopis with the assist, 23-24 remaining on the clock here in the first half. So Florida Tech with 2 goals in a 7-minute span, and they've taken control of this match. We got a long way to go, but they are up 2-0. So for Pachaji, that is goal number 3, and for Yopis, that is assist number 4. So Tobin briefly took the lead in assists, and now Yopis has caught her. So both lead the team in assists with 4. Again, that's Yopis and Tobin in the assist category. Foul on Tampa. So a good start for Florida Tech, up 2-0 with 23:05 to go in the first half. The Panthers can take further control of first with a win tonight. They would get 3 points. They have 19, so they would go up to 22. And we'll see where we go from there. Chipping it up deep in the Tampa territory. Oldmark trying to settle it. And she will drop it back to midfield to Helga Daughter, over for Carroll. Sent toward the top of the 18-yard area. In the area was Jauregui and Storr. Jauregui with it. Chips it left side. Yopis chips it toward the net. Headed out by Tampa, but Jauregui with it. Shot blocked by the Tampa line. Another shot is another goal. Oh, my goodness. Florida Tech is on fire. It is 3-0. All right, let's see who got that one. Marta Yopis. So it's been Oxley, Pachaji, and now Yopis. So Yopis with the goal. That is her team leading 9th. And now the substitutions are coming for Florida Tech. Number 6 is checking in. Sophia Posner, 5'3" junior out of Merritt Island and Eastern Florida State. So the Panthers with 3 goals in about an 8-minute period, and the last 2 were a little bit over a minute apart. So this is a scoreless match for the first almost 16 minutes, and Florida Tech exploding for 3, and they are up 3-0. Panthers now with 29 goals on the year, and they've allowed still just 11. That is a plus 18. That is awfully good. All right, Tampa trying to show some life here. Comes back to midfield to Carlholm, but taken away by the Panthers. Jauregui trying to get it, but taken by Brannon. Brannon has it on the far side. She's out of Huntersville, North Carolina. So Tampa trying to regroup, trying to get something going. Hard to come back from a 3-0 deficit, although we're just in the first half. If you get one, you never know. Here is Holchower. Sends it top of the 18-yard area, loose, and Sinkler is going to be able to get to it. So Sinkler with it. Again, she has 5 shutouts on the year. She's got one going right now. Hasn't really had much activity in the net. Helga Daughter chips it up over the midfield line. Oxley with the header. But Tampa able to regain control with Carl home. Middle of the field. Spartans with it far side. This one goes out of bounds off Florida Tech. Tampa throw in at midfield. Well, it looks like the crowd's gotten a little bit bigger, but probably only about half full. All right, some more subs for Tampa. Number 9, Brooke Kittner is going to check in. She's out of St. Louis. And for Florida Tech, Katie Ormerod, the 5'5 freshman out of Redcar, England. Redcar, yeah. Got to love that town. Oldmark's going to come out for the Panthers, and for Tampa, Brinius comes out. All right, Tampa throw in midfield. Bachaji header. Goes to Helga Daughter. High ball. Trying to find Oxley. Comes back toward midfield. Header by Carlholm. This one will go out. Florida Tech will have another throw in. 19:35 to go in the first half. Florida Tech up 3-0. So Florida Tech has now scored 15 goals in the first half this year. They've scored 14 in the second half, so pretty good distribution there. Ball out of bounds once again. Florida Tech throw in at the midfield area. Bachaji will throw it in. Against Sarah out of Lübeck, Germany. She intercepts the ball to Yopis. Yopis circling in midfield. Pass intercepted by Tampa, sent back to midfield. Carroll to Taubin. Taubin pass far side. That's Ormerod. Has Taubin left side, feeds it to her. Taubin will cross it, low to the ground. Top of the 18-yard area, and Tampa able to clear it. Out of immediate danger. Panthers right back. Here's Oldmark. Trying to find it. There's a shot, and that was Jauregui, but way over the net. And Tampa will have a goal kick. Well, again, for Aiden Smith, she comes in with a 0.94 goals against average, so she has to be kind of shell-shocked by this, giving up 3 goals in the first half. I'm not sure really any of those were her fault. Especially that first one. That was a beautiful header by Oxley. Not much a goalie can do about that. It's just so quick. Smith will send a high ball toward midfield. With it, Taubin. Goes left side, Bachaji. Left side, Jauregui trying to catch up to the ball. She's there. She'll go to her left foot. She'll cross it. Somewhat near the net, but taken away by Smith in goal. 17.5 to go in the first half. 3-0 Florida Tech. There's a high kick by Smith over the midfield line. Panthers send it up toward midfield. Trying to settle it. Ormerod. Ormerod will bring it up. To Jauregui. Back to Taubin. To Yopis. And Florida Tech reorganizing at the midfield line. Good quick passing. Sent up ahead. Taubin has it. About 35 yards from net. Right side. It's Posner. Posner trying to make a run. And it's going to go over the goal line. And Florida Tech will have their second corner kick of the match. Good pressure there. And Tampa just clearing it over the goal line to try and get a little relief. So corner kick Florida Tech. And Jauregui is going to take it. Players milling around the 18-yard area. And Tampa's going to send in. They're going to send in a new goalkeeper. It's 0. Leah Doohan out of Waxhaw, North Carolina. So a change here. Not sure what's behind that change. Again, Smith's given up 3 goals. Not quite sure if any of those are really her fault. Here comes the corner kick into the net. So Doohan with some quick activity, but no harm done there as it comes back to midfield. And Helga Daughter will send it back to Sinkler, who quickly gets rid of it. Sent up over the midfield line. Didn't quite make it to Ormerod. And we got a foul on Tampa, Florida Tech. We'll have a kick just over the midfield line. They quickly play it back in. Ormerod trying to make a run. She's double teamed. Far sideline, and it goes off of her. It'll be a Tampa throw-in. The breeze picking up even a little bit more, going from east to west. I'd say at least 10 miles per hour, maybe closer to 12. So throw-in for the Spartans. This one goes out of bounds off of Bachaji. Tampa will move up about 15 yards and throw it in again. Ball thrown in. And Florida Tech taking control of it with Helga Daughter. Sends it near side. Hauregi, can she keep it in? Yes, she can. Right near the Tampa bench. Gets it back to Posner. Back to Hauregi, back to Posner. Sophia loses it as it's stolen by Libman. So Libman into the game for Tampa. Out of Marietta, Georgia. Ball sent left side, Lidman. And looks like an offsides. So Florida Tech will have it deep in their own end. And we have exactly 14 minutes to go in the first half. Bachaji with it far side to Ormerod. Across the midfield line. Chips it right side. Didn't quite get to Hauregi. Stolen by Holschauer. Goes to midfield. And we got another offside. Yeah, that's the interesting thing about offsides in soccer. It can really take place anywhere. You cannot get ahead of the last defender. It doesn't matter where it is in the field. If they catch it, it's an offside. A little bit different than hockey. Here's Oxley, just shy of midfield, sends it to Bachaji. So Tampa trying to shake things up. They're going to send in Mimi Kronquist when they're allowed to. Bachaji trying to catch up to it. Goes over the goal line, and which way will this go? It's going to be a goal kick for, again, Leah Doohan, who just replaced Aiden Smith in goal. And now checking in is Mimi Kronquist. That was my late mother's name, Mimi, Miriam. I called her Mimi. She was a feisty mom, but a good mom. Gothenburg, Sweden for this Mimi Kronquist. I have no regret. She almost lived to 96. 12 and a half to go. Here's Ormerod making another run. Still with it, far side. Sends it toward the top of the 18-yard area. Hauregi trying to get to it, but she's double-teamed. And Tampa able to control it, but intercepted. There's a shot blocked. There's another shot over the net. So that'll be another goal kick for Doohan. And Julia Duarte is going to make an early appearance for Florida Tech, 5'4" junior, out of one of my most favorite places that I've never been to, Barcelona, Spain. I am sure that Julia Duarte has walked down Las Ramblas. That's the famous walkway in downtown Barcelona. I've never been there, but I've heard great things about it. So Bachaji's going to go out, and Duarte is in. Again, Florida Tech up 3-0, 11 and a half to go in the first half. Ball goes to Holschauer, but it goes out of bounds. Panther throw in right in front of the Tampa bench. Ball sent up, top of the 18-yard area. Duhan has to come out, clear it out. To the near left side to Wold. Wold over to Cronquist. And now with it is Carlholm. Haureggi hustling over to defend. Long pass. Goes into the Panther end. And ball out of bounds. Tampa will have a throw-in. Again, this game is pretty big for Tampa. Loose ball. Florida Tech trying to clear it out. And with it for the Panthers, that's Izzy Moore. When did she check in? She sneaked into the game. Moore, sophomore out of Roswell, Georgia. Not Roswell, New Mexico, but Roswell, Georgia. There's a pass. And coming out is Duhan to make the save with 10 minutes to go in the first half. Izzy Moore, by the way, a transfer from Eckert. Eckert is the team that is tied with Tampa for 7th place. So I'll tell you, every team is legitimately alive to make the tournament. There are 11 teams in the conference, 8 make it. Even the 11th place team, Florida Southern, is not very far out. They'll probably have a little bit more work to do than the other teams, but they're still alive. But each team only has about 1 or either 2 games left. All right, Tampa in their own end. Katie Friel is starting to empty the bench a little bit, comfortable with a 3-0 lead. Sending in some players who don't play very often. Number 16, Taylor George, and 27, Lynette Restrepo. I think that's the first time I've said her name this year. So almost everybody has played for Florida Tech, except for a few. 8:45 to go in the first half. Tampa trying to break through. They chip it up ahead. Trying to settle it is Emerson. And that's on the line, isn't it? I guess not. And that should have been a foul, but nothing called as Haureggi went for a spill. Panthers have it. Comes to midfield, Ormerod. Ormerod towing the line, far side. She stops, trying to mesmerize her defender. Now she backs it up a little bit. Now it comes back to midfield to Helga Daughter. Hotla pass right side, Posner. Posner going one-on-one. And Posner goes down, nothing called. That was Cronquist defending. Now it comes back to Sinkler, who's pretty far out of her net. Living a little bit dangerously. And it sends it to midfield. Taubin, midfield. Being defended tightly by Whidden. And we got a foul on Tampa, and Whidden is quite aghast at the call. 7:15 to go. Helga Daughter will have a kick right in front of the Tampa bench. Again, Helga Daughter out of Iceland. Out of a town that begins with the letter E and is too hard to pronounce. Ball's chipped toward the net, goes over the goal line, and deflected out by Tampa. So Florida Tech with corner kick number 3, and it'll be Haureggi to take it. So Haureggi laying down the ball. She'll play it out to Yopis. Yopis across, loose, shot high in the air. Duhan will grab it like she was playing center fielder on the softball team. Nice play by her. Again, she's come in cold off the bench for Smith, and she has already seen a fair amount of action. And Duhan will send this punt out. So Duhan has played only 23 minutes and 41 seconds, has not allowed a goal. She had just one save coming into her appearance tonight. Hauregi with it. And the ball goes out of bounds. Duan is a sophomore. Smith is a junior. She has one more year. All right, Taubman comes out. Now the Panthers sending in their two subs. You got Lynette Restrepo, 5'3" sophomore out of Bridgeport, Connecticut. And also Taylor Georgian, sophomore out of Melbourne, local product, Vieira High School. No doubtly a teammate of Savannah Oxley at Vieira High. All right, Tampa throw-in just down from the Panther bench. 5:20 to go in the first half. It's been all Florida Tech up 3-0, trying to get another one. As making a run toward the goal was Moore. Comes back outside. Posner to Oxley, towing the line. Gets bumped down a little bit, nothing called. Tampa trying to control. They send it up toward midfield. Intercepted Helga Daughter to Restrepo. She'll reorganize. Middle of the field. Now to Yopis. Goal goes left side. There's a pass. I think that's Omerod. She's in deep and sent out by Tampa. This one is going to go out of bounds at about the midfield area. Florida Tech will retain control as we have 4.5 to go in this first half. Total shots now. Florida Tech 10, Tampa with zip. Again, corner kicks, 3-1 Florida Tech. Ball sent for right side. Omerod trying to keep it in bounds. Ball dropped back. Cross is blocked, goes out of bounds. Florida Tech will maintain possession. By the way, Tampa leads the all-time series with 13 wins. Florida Tech has 5, and there have been 8 ties. Florida Tech has gone 2-0-2 in the last 4 meetings. They won the match last year over in Tampa, 2-0. This one is sent back to Sinkler in the Panther net. She's pretty far to her left out of the net, picks it up. Secures the ball in front of an on-rushing Tampa player. That was Libman. And clears it out to Helga Daughter. Over to Posner. Back to Helga Daughter. She'll send a low-line drive to midfield and not able to catch up to it as Moore. Out of bounds, Tampa throw-in. Right in front of the Panther bench, right at midfield. Ball thrown in, intercepted. Posner to Oxley. Savannah sends it up ahead. Looking to connect with Omerod. Didn't quite get there. Now Tampa controls it with Nobles. Loose ball. Carroll will tap it back to Sinkler at the top of the 18-yard area. We have 2:40 to go in the first half. Panthers have it in their own end, being very careful as it comes over to Helga Daughter. Hotla's pass deflected off of Omerod. Now Posner has it. Posner with it. Feeds it right side, Omerod. And this one goes out of bounds. Low bridge on the Panther bench. It almost struck somebody in the head. Everybody had a duck. And Florida Tech with another substitution. Number 17, Emma Henkel, the 5'4" freshman, local product, Satellite Beach. She is a Satellite High Scorpion. Way back when, that is where the late, great Fiji Haig coached before he got the Florida Tech job as the ball goes out of bounds. You know, it's really hard to believe. It's been about 9 years since Fiji Haig passed away, and he is forever in our thoughts. In fact, one of the side streets leading into the complex is Fiji Haig Way. That is certainly well-deserved. He was a golden man. I mean, if you didn't like Fiji, then you're on the wrong planet. All right, Panther corner kick here. This will be corner kick number 4. Yopis to take it. Sends it toward the net, middle of the net. Loose ball. Comes back out. Tampa trying to clear it, and they will. at least out of the immediate area. And now they get it up over midfield. Carroll chasing after it as we are under a minute to go in this first half. Ball goes out of bounds. Well, Tampa's going to try and figure out how to get something going. And for Florida Tech, just a matter of, don't relax. You're playing well, up 3-0. But don't get too overconfident. All right, Panthers will have possession. We're down to a half minute to go in this first half. Panther throw in midfield. Oxley gets it back. Down to 20 seconds ago. Panthers trying to get one more late rush going. Here they come. Down to 15 seconds. Ball over the goal line. Panthers going to have to hustle to get this corner kick off. I think they're going to run out of time. We're down to 5 seconds to go, and Florida Tech will lead 3-0 at the halftime mark. Let's see if we can get an update on the men. Again, the men started an hour earlier, so their match is just probably about wrapping up, taking on Tampa over in the Tampa area. So we are tracking the men, and we'll have an update here in a second. Again, J.C. Miles with you, FloridaTechSports.com. Again, 3-0, Florida Tech here on the women's side of things. By the way, the men are going to be home on Friday night to take on Barry, and that's going to be their regular season finale. So Tampa on the road tonight, and then Barry here on Friday. The Panther women will be at Barry the day before on Thursday. We'll have some halftime entertainment as Adam, our hardworking person in athletic communications, is setting up one of those smaller goals, and we got some younger players who are going to play a game. So we'll see if we can get an update here on the men. And they started an hour earlier, so we'll definitely have a final score coming up pretty soon. And that's another match made up because of the hurricane recently. Got a beautiful night here for soccer. What's that? You can't find it. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll try and find that Tampa Florida Tech men's score over in Tampa. I'll tell you what. Let's take a break. We'll be back in about 10 minutes or so. Again, here for the women, it's all Florida Tech 3-0 over Tampa. This is FloridaTechSports.com.
The day had come.
Founded to educate the pioneers of the U.S. space program, Florida Tech's history is making history. Today we carry on this legacy, redefining what's possible, transforming dreams into reality, embarking on the endeavors most pivotal to the future. Florida Tech, making history, shaping the future.
The day had come.
Founded to educate the pioneers of the U.S. space program, Florida Tech's history is making history. Today we carry on this legacy, redefining what's possible, transforming dreams into reality, embarking on the endeavors most pivotal to the future. Florida Tech, making history, shaping the future.
The day had come.
Founded to educate the pioneers of the U.S. space program, Florida Tech's history is making history. Today we carry on this legacy, redefining what's possible, transforming dreams into reality, embarking on the endeavors most pivotal to the future. Florida Tech, making history, shaping the future.
West of Fort Myers. Yeah. Wow.
So the westerness of Florida. It's like a little island.
That's got to be like in the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah, at that point.
If you're west of Fort Myers, you're like in the water.
Yep.
All right, thanks for sharing that. I'll try and get that in. Coquille.
So you want to come up in two minutes?
Yeah, about the 2-minute mark on the scoreboard, yeah. How much time left?
The day had come.
Founded to educate the pioneers of the U.S. space program, Florida Tech's history is making history. Today we carry on this legacy, redefining what's possible, transforming dreams into reality, embarking on the endeavors most pivotal to the future. Florida Tech, making history, shaping the future.
All right, welcome back to Rick Stoller Field. J.C. Miles with you on the Panther website, FloridaTechSports.com, along the SSC Digital Network. It is all Panther women in this Sunshine State Conference matchup as they lead at 3-0 over Tampa at the halftime mark. The Panther men just scored. They lead 3-2, and that match is getting close to ending. Got a few minutes left in that one. We'll try and get a final score in the next 5 or 10 minutes. As far as the women, though, Panthers have 10 shots. The Spartans don't have any. Corner kicks, Florida Tech 5, Tampa 1. Saves, the Spartans have 1 save. That 1 save was by Aiden Smith, who was relieved with 29:16 to go in the first half, and Leah Duhan came in off the bench. She does not have a save yet. Fouls are Spartans with 6, Florida Tech with 2. Kaylin Sinkler with no saves for the Panthers in goal. Offsides, Tampa 2, Florida Tech 1. And recapping the scoring, Savannah Oxley scores her second goal of the year. 14-11 into the first half off the assist from Daniela Taubin. And that was a Beautiful setup by Taubin as she chipped it toward Oxley, and Oxley actually headed it into the net, probably just a few yards out from the net area. So Florida Tech then added another goal. 7 minutes later, Sarah Bachaji scoring her third, with the assist going to Marta Yopis. And then Marta Yopis getting into the scoring parade, scoring her 9th of the year, and that came literally a minute and 14 seconds later. Her 9th of the year unassisted, and that's where we are. Florida Tech leading it 3-0. So 3 different goal scorers, Oxley, Bachaji, and Yopis. So Tampa will kick off, and first you need to get one if you have any thoughts of trying to get back into this match. So here we go. Again, this is the regular season home finale for the Panther women. They will travel to Miami Shores Thursday to take on Barry in their season finale. And then, they're definitely going to have a home game next Monday in the quarterfinal round of the SSC tournament. Ball sent up ahead, and it's gobbled up by Duhan. Again, Duhan just making her second appearance of the year. Only played about 23 minutes. Aiden Smith played most of the time, but not sure what's behind the goalie switch here by head coach Aaron Switalski, but she has her reasons. All right, Panthers have it in midfield with Howreggi. Howreggi passed a little bit too far for Oxley. Comes back to midfield. Ball goes out of bounds, and this will be a Tampa throw-in. And throwing it in will be Jess Brannon. Brannon, again, out of Huntersville, North Carolina. Middle of the field, it's Oxley into the Panther end. Bachaji with it. Back to Carroll, and Carroll's going to send it back to Sinkler in the Panther goal. Here's Bachaji. Midfield, Yopis. So again, Yopis already with a goal and an assist. It's Carroll with it, and Carroll's sending. I'll just send it back to Sinkler again. Panthers really in no hurry, trying to keep that clock going. It'd be nice if they can get another goal, but 3-0 is a good lead. You want to minimize the Tampa possessions. Helga Daughter with it. She'll send it up to the midfield line. Panther player trying to make a run. I think that's Mottershed. Yes, it is. Outside the 18-yard area. Gets it back. Chipping it right on the 18-yard line. Howreggi will send it, but this one goes out of bounds, and this will be a goal kick for Leah Duhan. Again, a sophomore out of Waxhaw, North Carolina. By the way, Anthony, my research veteran up here, found out that Bokeelia, Florida, is west of Fort Myers, which means it's practically in the Gulf of Mexico. So Bokeelia, probably not a place you want to be when that hurricane comes up, and there's something out in the Caribbean right now, but they say it could come off the Gulf, and Bokeelia, you might want to get ready in the next week or so. All right, Spartans have it with Brannon. Now chipped up ahead, trying to catch up to the ball is Wold, W-O-L-D, but too far, and now Sinkler has it. She picks it up. So we're 3 minutes into the second half. Again, Florida Tech leading at 3-0. Again, a Panther win will give them 22 points and pretty much, not officially, but pretty much clinch first place in the conference. Not mathematically so, but certainly a lot of strange things would have to happen. Florida Tech would have to lose to Barry, and then other teams would have to pick up multiple wins to try and catch up to that Panther total of 22, assuming they hold on here. All right, Oxley has it. Gives the Yopis to Taubin. Taubin up over the midfield line. Here's a possible 2-on-3. There's a shot. Oh, goes just over the net. I think that was Oldmark. So Nora Oldmark with the shot and cleared the crossbar. Booming shot, but a little bit too high. So goal kick here for Leah Duhan. So again, Duhan came in just playing 23 minutes and 41 seconds for the entire year. One save Definitely a save on that one, though. All right, Tampa with it over the midfield line, and this one is going to go out of bounds, and it's going to be a Panther throw-in. Aaron Svitolski is beside herself. Yeah, she is very frustrated. Again, the Campbell University graduate from North Carolina. Was a very good player at Campbell. 4-year player, 3-year first team Atlantic Sun Conference selection. All right, Pachaji has it for the Panther bench. He's doing some dribbling. Ball loose. Comes to Yopis, trying to break out of her own end, and she'll just drop it back to Sinkler. Let's see if we have a final in the men yet. We'll try and get that. And they were up 3-2 late. It's always great to get those soccer sweeps on a given night. Don't have too many Monday night games in the Panther ledger this year. In fact, none. All right, with it is Mottershed to Oxley. She has a goal tonight. Trying to feed it to Haureggi. Didn't quite get there. It comes back. And Tampa trying to break out of their own end. A lot of congestion by Florida Tech. Comes up to midfield. Wold with it, but it comes back to Sinkler. Oxley with it as the Tampa player goes down. All right, Florida Tech down at the other end. Loose ball. Duhan will send it out of bounds, and it'll be a Panther throw-in. We have a final in the men, or do you know? Oh, we won? All right, the Panther men defeat Tampa 3-2, so that'll be a happy bus ride from Tampa. Yeah, the good news is they don't have to go over the Howard Franklin Bridge. They would if they were at Eckerd tonight, but they're at Tampa. So that'll be a happy trip back to Pantherland for the Panther men, who, again, came in 5th place, but just 1 point out of second because, again, there's a 3-way tie for second. So we'll have to see what happens in the standings tomorrow. Yopis goes in. She is fouled. No call. I mean, that could have been a penalty kick. Comes back outside. Panthers about 20 yards away from the Tampa net. It's Haureggi back to Taubin. And Taubin will regroup. Send it back to Carroll. Lydia to Oxley. Haureggi trying to settle it. 18-yard area. But it comes back out. And Florida Tech just being persistent, keeping it to the end. Here's Oldmark. Nora trying to make a move. Gets by her defender. Crosses it. That's Storr. Now comes outside. Sent back toward the net. Header by Tampa. A semi-bicycle kick by Haureggi. And taken by Duhan. All right, so Duhan, top of the 18-yard area. 37 minutes to go in the game. 3-0, Florida Tech. All right, Panthers have it in midfield. Get a very modest crowd tonight, probably about half full in the stands on the far side. Guess some people are staying home and watching the Tampa Bay Bucks taking on the Chiefs. There's a foul. Pachaji goes down. And let's see if we have something else here. There have been no yellow cards tonight, which has been kind of refreshing. Not a terribly physical match, but Pachaji is taken down there by Wold. Loose ball, middle of the 18-yard area. And Tampa's going to get the possession. Got a pretty good wind from east to west, about 10 to 15 miles per hour. It's really a wonderful night to be out here. Nice breeze. Doesn't feel like July. It feels like November here in Florida. All right, Duan with a kick off the grass, sends it up over the midfield line. Helga Daughter. It goes out of bounds, and Florida Tech will have the possession. Tampa's going to send in a couple of players when they get a chance. They're getting loosened up. So I'll tell you, both teams have pretty much cleared the bench tonight. Florida Tech has played a fair number of players, more than they usually do. All right, Panthers making a run. Storr trying to get the ball back. And Tampa now trying to break out. Ball comes to Wold. Again, W-O-L-D on the name. First name Alley brings it up over the midfield line. Wold. Here comes the double team of Jauregui and Bachaji, and Bachaji takes it away. Wold is trying to get it back. Bachaji to Jauregui. Jauregui with it in front of the Panther bench. And the ball goes out of bounds, and this will be a Tampa throw-in. Checking in for Tampa, we got 5 and 26. So number 5 is Mia Zubiete. She is out of Chandler, Arizona, and a transfer from the University of Idaho. So she's been around the bend. Also, Tally O'Leary checks in, graduate student out of Boca Raton. Transfer from Rhode Island. I assume that's the University of Rhode Island. All right, ball over the goal line, and let's see. Tampa is going to get their first corner kick of this match. Or actually, their second. So corner kick coming up. They would love to score off of this. And here comes the kick. Line drive sent toward the net. High ball right in front of Sinkler. Florida Tech trying to clear it. And they clear it out on the far side of the field. Ball goes out of bounds, and Tampa will have a throw-in. So Tampa's going to close out their season on Thursday at home against Palm Beach Atlantic. By the way, Palm Beach Atlantic upset Rollins recently. That certainly helps Florida Tech stay ahead of Rollins. That was a bit of an upset. Palm Beach Atlantic is 10th in the standings. That was only their second conference win. I mean, if Rollins wins that match, then Florida Tech a little bit more threatened for first. But so that was a big loss for the Tars. I mean, they're still gonna get a home game. They just won't win the title. Sent toward the net. There's a high ball. Old Mark header for the Panthers. Panthers get it about 25 yards out. Now Bachaji with a header trying to get it out. It's a head game. And this one's sent up toward midfield. A couple of headers there in a row at least. Spartans have it with Karlholm in the middle of the field. Karlholm out of Uppsala, Sweden. Oxley with it. She has a goal tonight to Carroll, who sends it back to Sinkler. 32 minutes to go. Florida Tech up 3-0. Shots are 11-zip, Florida Tech. So no shots for Tampa yet. That is really hard to believe. Tampa, by the way, earlier in the year, they were actually nationally ranked. But then all those ties kind of got in the way, and they've dropped in the standings. Again, Florida Tech coming in nationally ranked number 13 out of the top 25. There's Taubin in a battle, and Taubin goes down. And Daniela slowly getting up. Looks like she's okay. She's a tough one. And again, Colorado School of Mines, number 1 team in the country. Lenore Ryan, number 9. They're one of the teams that beat Florida Tech. Florida Tech, number 13. Point Loma, defending national champion, 23. And then Embry-Riddle, who's become a nemesis for Florida Tech the last 3 years in the tournament championship game. They round out the top 25 at number 25. Here comes Oldmark running the right side. How's Hauregi going toward the net? Oldmark still with it. Makes a couple of nice moves. Oldmark sends a shot and a nice, that really won't be a save, but a nice catch there by Duhan. As that was not technically on goal, but boy, Oldmark, she made a move that kind of made our head spin over here. Again, Nora Oldmark, out of Stockholm, Sweden. They know how to play their soccer in Sweden. Let's see, in Sweden right now, I'm guessing it's about 2:20 a.m. So if anybody's watching from Sweden, possibly Oldmark's relatives, we hope you're enjoying the match. Well, again, you got to get up early in the morning to catch Florida Tech soccer in Sweden and other parts of the world over there. 30 minutes to go. So 30 minutes to go, and then you can go back to bed. Modershed up over the midfield line. Right side, Store. Drops it back, Modershed. And Modershed has it taken away, and Tampa's got it. Spartans regrouping in their own end. With it is Brannon. Sends it up ahead. This will go all the way to Sinkler in the Panther net as she's near the top of the 18-yard area. Sinkler will simply send it out to Helga Daughter. Comes back to Helga Daughter. And she'll just send it back to Sinkler again. Again, Sinkler, I mean, the only activity that she has seen is when her teammates have passed the ball back to her because, again, Tampa has no shots. When was the last Florida Tech match where they held an opponent to 0 shots? Probably hasn't happened too often, but it could happen here. Up at Store. She goes down, nothing called. Looks like she's a little bit shocked about that. Spartans have it in their own end. They send it up toward midfield. Taubin trying to get to it, making a run. Middle of the field, Hauregi. Hauregi, little touch pass, Yopis. Ground ball pass. Trying to get a through ball to Hauregi, not quite there. Goes over the goal line, and Leah Duhan will have a goal kick as Tampa sending in a couple players. Florida Tech's going to send in Posner, who played in the first half, so she's back in. And let's see for Tampa. Mimi Kronquist back in out of Gothenburg, Sweden. And let's see, 24 is in. Kendall Gauner, or Gooner rather, out of Monument, Colorado. Wonder how far Monument's from Denver. Ball sent up ahead. Comes back to the Panther end, and let's see what we have here. All right, Tampa's going to have a kick. So, again, Tampa has no shots, and we have had no yellow cards issued yet. Still have 27 minutes to go, though. So that's a rarity in soccer that doesn't really happen. Usually there's at least one yellow card, and usually the opposing team has at least one shot. All right, Panthers have it in midfield with Store. Back to Helga Daughter. Middle of the field, Yopis being defended. She goes down. That'll be a foul on Zoe Whitten. Again, Zoe is out of Denver. Another Colorado girl on the Tampa roster. By the way, Tampa played a couple of games in Colorado. They played Colorado Springs. That was a scoreless tie. They defeated Colorado State Pueblo 2-1. All right, loose ball. This one's going to go out of bounds. So that was kind of nice. Whitten got to go back to Colorado to play in front of friends, and also Gauner. So 2 players from Colorado on their team. All right, Hauregi comes out of the game. Throw in Bachaji to Omerod, out of bounds. Off Tampa. Bachaji will try it again. This one, a high ball toward midfield. This one is going to go out near midfield, and Florida Tech will have the throw-in. Bachaji will take control of it. Omerad with it, middle of the field. So Tampa's only loss this year was up in Winter Park against Rollins. So again, just a very unusual record. So Florida Tech is looking like they're going to hand Tampa just their second loss of the year. Again, Tampa has all those ties, 7 of them. Will Tampa make the SSC tournament? Well, we'll have to wait and see. It'll be the bottom half of the teams. No doubtly, they'll be on the road somewhere. Chip toward the net. Comes back out. Helga Daughter goes down, along with the Tampa player. And now 2 more players go down. London Bridge is falling down. A Tampa player and a Panther player both go down. Everybody's okay, though. We can laugh about it a little bit. Nobody getting hurt. All right, let's see. Florida Tech's could have a kick here. And let's see. It will not officially be a corner kick, but pretty similar. It's just a few yards away from the corner kick stick. So kind of similar. You just send it in, cross it, and see if somebody can head it in. Again, Oxley has a goal tonight on a header off the assist from Tobin. Let's see what happens here. All right, sent toward the net. And nice catch there by Duhan, who, again, coming in, has only played 23 minutes in goal this year. Duhan trying to maybe win some more time in goal. Again, tough to replace Aiden Smith, who had a good year last year and was having a good year this year, but giving up 3 goals in this game. Again, I'm not sure how many of those goals were really truly her fault. I'd have to see the replay, but the Tampa back line has really struggled tonight. 23-23 to go in the match. And the ball goes out of bounds. Florida Tech is not going to reach their win total unless they go deep into the postseason again. They were 17-3-3 last year. With a win tonight, they'll go to 10-2-2. Again, one more game in the regular season with Barry. And they're hoping to play at least, 3 games in the tournament, the SSC tournament, and then the big NCAA tournament. So still a lot of games to be played, and of course Florida Tech would love to have a repeat of the Final Four along with the men. Ball chipped up ahead. Panthers about 25 yards out. Omerad trying to make a move. She goes down, nothing called. We go the other way. Again, Tampa's still looking for their first shot. Here's Carlholm. Bachaji hustling back and breaks up the play along with Tobin. Trying to keep it in is Carlholm. Does so. Comes to Sinkler, who goes low bridge as a Tampa player came flying over her. Everybody's all right, though. Gets Sinkler. Looking for shutout number 6. She is 22 minutes away from attaining it. Panthers just trying to kill some time as it comes back to Sinkler in the Panther net. Helga Daughter goes far side. Ball loose. Tobin sending it up the field. Goes over the midfield line. Panthers trying to get a run, but it goes out of bounds. And it'll be a Panther throw-in. And checking in is Izzy Moore, who played briefly in the first half. Again, Moore, 5'3" sophomore out of Roswell, Georgia, and a transfer from Eckert. And Rebecca Storr comes out. I'll tell you, she's become a very good player. Again, scored her first career goal in that win over Lynn last Wednesday. And then Tobin scored what proved to be the game winner, 2-1. Panthers defeated Lynn. Ball comes up to midfield. Again, the Panthers, they've won 3 in a row. They've gone 6-0-1 in their last 7, so they're looking for their 4th win in a row and trying to stay undefeated in their last 8, with 7 of those being wins if they hold on here. Again, really the only doubt in this match is, as Omerod takes a shot, it's deflected, is will Sinkler get another shutout? Comes up to midfield, Helga Daughter, ball goes out of bounds. It's off of Tampa. Florida Tech throw-in on the far side. And Lynette Restrepo will check in. She checked in the first half, came out, and now she's checking back in. And Marta Yopis is checking out, and I imagine Marta is probably done for the evening. Not a bad game for her, goal and assist. Has 9 goals for the year. She's not going to catch up to Marin Zhang, who had an incredible year last year, 20 goals, but could get at least halfway to the total, depending on how she does down at Barry on Thursday. I'll tell you, Marin might have that record for most goals in a year for a while. Tough to score 20 goals in college soccer. She was a great one. Sent him to midfield. Helga Daughter with it. Gives it to Bachaji over the midfield line. Omerod circling. Middle of the field, Tobin. Now back to Helga Daughter. 19:15 to go in the match. Here's Oldmark, far left side. Let's see if she crosses it. Going one-on-one. Ground ball pass, but intercepted by Tampa. Sent up to midfield to Emerson. Ooh, the wind is picking up here. I feel like I'm in a York Peppermint Patty commercial from the 1970s. That was about 50 years ago, growing up and seeing those commercials, as a stiff breeze blows through me. All right, ball out of bounds. Florida Tech throwing. Well, both teams have pretty much cleared their bench. Tampa is going to send in 3 players when they get a chance. And we got a foul on Florida Tech. Again, no yellow cards yet. I don't think the officials ever very happy about giving those yellow cards out. He just assumed hold the yellow cards in his pocket. Florida Tech with it. That's Omerod to Bachaji, taken away by the Spartans. With it is Emerson. Oh, going one-on-one. The ball goes over the goal line. All right, Tampa's going to send in 3 players. Number 10, Sydney Dennis. Number 11, Nellie Brinius, who's the co-leader in goals with Tally O'Leary. They have 3. Well, actually, that's from last year. So Dennis and Brinius go in. And that's it for the subs. All right, Panthers have it in their own end. 17-12 to go in the match. Again, the Panther men, congratulations to them. They went over to Tampa, picked up a 3-2 win tonight. And barring something unforeseen here, we will have another soccer sweep. We've had a few of those this year. Again, the Tampa men will be home here Friday, a rare Friday night match against Barry. Again, the Panther women will travel to Barry on Thursday. Here's Oldmark. Gets a shot off, and a nice save there by Duhan. I'll tell you, she's not a bad goalie at all. Hasn't gotten much playing time this year, but nice save there. So Duhan walking out to the top of the 18-yard area. And she'll punt it to midfield. Medium level kick. Takes a high hop. Bachaji heads it to Restrepo. Now over for Omerod. I'll tell you, I like the way she dribbles. She likes to go one-on-one a lot. Omerod trying to go one-on-one here. Being shadowed by another player as well. She'll send it middle of the field. Tobin actually comes to Oldmark. Oldmark's shot is right on target, but the nice save there by Duhan, who made a pretty easy save, but had to be alert for it. I'll tell you, Oldmark, she has a very strong shot. She's gotten off a few good ones tonight. All right, Panther player, Tampa player go down. It's a foul on Tampa. Julia Duarte, who played briefly earlier, is going to check in. In fact, it looks like the hockey change. About 4 players are going to check in for Florida Tech. They have to wait, though. 15-15 to go. Toppin with it, middle of the field. To Helga Daughter. Trying to send a through ball to Oldmark. Oldmark crosses it, looking for Al Reggie. Didn't quite get there, but she gets it back. To Moore. First name Izzy. Here's Oxley. Restrepo back to Bachaji. Bachaji, nice fake move there. Oh, look at her go. She is quick. Bachaji trying to get by her defender. Crosses it, loose. Tampa clears it out. They get it about 25 yards out, but there's Toppin with a shot. Oh, it hit the crossbar. Goes very high into the air. It's still loose, still in play. And Duhan is able to get on top of it. I'm assuming that Daniela's dad is here tonight. Actually, the mom as well, but I've gotten to know the dad. He's a terrific guy, and his heartbeat probably skipped a little bit on that one. Again, Toppin does have an assist. That came on the Oxley goal, which, again, was a header. Really nice setup by Toppin in that first Panther goal. All right, Tampa in midfield again. They have no shots. They've got the bagel. Trying to get at least some cream cheese in that bagel. All right, here comes Brannon against Bachaji. Sends it toward the net. Headed. Goes over the goal line. And Tampa has not had very many corner kicks tonight, but this will be their third. And they will have it on the far side of the field. We have 13 and a half remaining in the match. Again, we got 4 Panther players who are still eagerly trying to check into the game, but they have to wait. All right, Tampa corner kick. They'll send it way out to Kronquist. And there's a pass, and there's Sinkler diving for the ball. Again, no save. It was well off net. So she still does not have a save. All right, the 4 Panther players who have been waiting patiently. Well, I guess they're still going to have to wait. Checking in for Tampa, though, is 21 Holzhoser, or Holzschauer from Davie, Florida. Holzschauer, yes. All right, Stores in for Oldmark. I'll tell you, Oldmark played a nice match. I think she got 4 really good quality shots on the Tampa goal. 13 minutes to go. What's that? Oh, they just did it now? Oh, really? Oh. All right, the Panthers have a new goalkeeper. Sinkler has come out. So 2 goalies in the game who did not start the game. Duhan for Tampa. And let's see, for Florida Tech, is that Medi Brandis, the freshman out of Dusseldorf, Germany. Brandis has played very little this year, just 45 minutes coming in. She's allowed 2 goals. She has 1 save, a 4-0 GAA. Ball goes out of bounds. I mean, you can kind of call this a combined shutout if it happens to turn out that way. I think Sinkler, though, will probably get credit for it. And, again, that would be number 6. So, head coach Katie Friel's giving Brandis a little bit more experience. You know, again, Sinkler had to wait her time last year behind Ayana Ayagi, and Brandis has to wait her time, but getting some experience here. 12-10 remaining. Florida Tech spreading the field. This has been a scoreless second half. All 3 goals for the Panthers in the first half. Trying to get another one. Here's Storr. There's a shot and a save by Duhan. I'll tell you, she's played pretty well coming in off the bench. That one was definitely on goal, and a sprawling save by Duhan. So Duhan comes out to the top of the 18-yard area. And she'll punt it away, sends a nice kick over the midfield line, about 40 yards up the field. Up over the midfield line, that's Duarte. And Florida Tech has it with Restrepo. But it goes out of bounds, and it'll be a Tampa throw-in. Well, again, Tampa came in leading the all-time series 13-5 with 8 ties. But Florida Tech in the last 4 meetings has gone 2-0-2, so it looks like they're going to go to 3-0-2 in the last 5. And they'll pick up their 6th ever win against the Spartans. All right, here's Modershed up over the midfield line. Trying to get it back. Now Tampa has it, still looking for their first shot. And this one goes too far, goes to Brandis in the Panther net. So Brandis, like Sinkler, wearing the baby blue outfit. Again, kind of like UCLA, who's not having a great year in football. Baby blue outfit, baby blue socks. All baby blue. Ball over the goal line, and Tampa will have a throw-in pretty deep in their own end. 10:17 to go. This match is about an hour and 39 minutes old. I mean, might get in the end of this match under 2 hours. I really thought Nora Oldmark was going to be done for the evening, but she checks back in. And we'll check in for Restrepo. I'm going to say that Yopis probably will not get back in, but if she does, then I'll be wrong. All right, Panther throw in far side. How Reggie trying to control it. Tampa takes it away. Panthers take it away. Trying to make a run. Ball goes over the goal line. And this will be another Panther corner kick. This will be number 5 for the game. And clock stopped. And I guess we have an injury. The Tampa trainer's going to go out and check on our player. In the meantime, number 18, Ali Wold, is going to check back in. Again, Wold is the co-leader with goals with Cronquist. They have 4. Leads the team in shots, coming in with 20. Shots on goal with 10. So checking out is Zoe Whidden, who's seen quite a bit of time tonight. Doesn't look seriously injured, but she does have some sort of injury, so she's being escorted off the field. Again, Tampa's going to host Palm Beach Atlantic on Thursday, while Florida Tech goes down to Miami Shores to play Barry. All right, here's the corner kick. Sent in the middle of the 18-yard area. Comes back out. Panthers trying to keep it in. There's a sidewinder kick. And a nice catch there by Duhan. Down to 9:20 to go to this one. Here's a punt, very short. Battle for the ball. Omerad trying to make a run down the left side as Modershed close by. Feeds it. Modershed. Alice trying to send it up ahead. Loose ball. Store back to Posner. Over to Oldmark. She'll send it far side. Loose ball, middle of the field. Tampa trying to get over the midfield line. They do so. Oldmark shadowing the player. And Oldmark goes down. Comes up ahead. And Brandis goes diving into the grass to make the play. Again, the freshman from Dusseldorf, Germany. Let's see, Germany right now, I think it's about 2:45 in the morning. Most of those places in Europe are 6 hours ahead of us. So I don't know, hopefully somebody is listening in Europe, whether it's Germany or Sweden or some of the other places, because Florida Tech has a fair number of international players, as does Tampa. All right, here come the Spartans. Player goes down, nothing called. And Florida Tech has it, and Coach Svitolski quite surprised that there wasn't a foul called. There's a shot. Goes past the net. Again, Sinkler did not receive a shot, and I thought Brandis might have seen some activity there, but it went past her and goes over the goal line. So Brandis will get a goal kick here. She'll send it to Helga Daughter. Chips it up ahead, middle of the field, Hauregi. Here comes Jimena over the midfield line, has Omerat ahead of her. Has Posner on the left. Will feed it to Posner. She'll cross it near the net, and nobody really there. Well, coming in late was Storr, but Duhan makes the catch. Duhan will punt it away. Short kick to midfield. Trying to make a run for Tampa is Bernius. Bernius being shadowed by Carroll. Sends it toward the net. Loose ball. High in the air. Boy, Tampa just cannot. They cannot get a shot on goal. They cannot really get a shot. They still have the goose egg on the shots. They've gotten a few close ones into the net, but not classified as a shot. There's a shot, but it's knocked down. There's a shot. I think that's their first one. Off goal. Yeah, I think that was a shot. So, I think we'll give them a shot there, and it's now 17-1 in shots as Taylor George is back in the lineup, the local product out of Melbourne and Vieira High, and Daniela Taubin will come in, and that'll make her parents proud. I'm sure they're on the far side of the field. And again, they commute a lot from Broward County and Fort Lauderdale to come up and see their daughter play, and this is Daniela's final year. She's had a nice career. All right, sent deep into the Tampa end. Panther player trying to make a run. Goes out of bounds. Panther throw-in as we have 5:47 to go in the match. So, again, the Panthers will have a couple days off, play Barry Thursday, and they will definitely have a home match 1 week from today, first round of the SSC tournament. We don't know the game time because the men might also be playing here, and we would have a soccer doubleheader, which would bring back the old days when the teams would play doubleheaders, men and women together. So next Monday could be a kind of a long day, but a good day. Here's Taubin. There's a pass. There's a shot. A save and a beauty made by Duhan, and the shot goes wide. Oh, Duhan with a beautiful save. That was another bullet of a shot. Boy, Duhan probably will have a welt on her body after that one. All right, Florida Tech will get a corner kick out of this, and it'll be Matershed to take it. All right, Matershed will send this corner kick off the right foot. Sends it toward the net. Looked like Duhan might have gotten her hand on it and steered it out of bounds. So now Florida Tech will have a corner kick on the other side of the field. So the Panthers up to 7 corner kicks now to 3 for Tampa. 4:20 remaining. Again, it's been a scoreless second half. All 3 goals by the Panthers in that first half. Sent toward the net. And it's loose. It goes over the goal line. It's all Florida Tech. It'll be a goal kick for Duhan. Yes. So Duhan will kick this one off the grass. Sends a high ball, shy of midfield. There's another high ball over the midfield line. Helga Daughter not able to get her head on it. Taubin will Send it to the far side of the field. This one is probably going to go out of bounds. Well, no, it won't. It is saved over the midfield line, Florida Tech. Tobin back to Helga Daughter. Ball stolen by Tampa. There's a foul. Oh, no, we're going to get a yellow card out of this. Oh, darn it. Jeez, I hate when that happens. That is the first yellow card of the evening. I really was hoping we'd go yellow cardless tonight, but it just wasn't in the works. So Tampa has one shot. We didn't think they were going to get a shot tonight. They did, and we didn't think we were getting any yellow cards, but Florida Tech got it. Who got the yellow card? 12, that's Helga Daughter. Okay. Again, 19-1 in shots. The combination of Smith and Duan have 8 saves. Sinkler does not have a save yet. Here's a long kick from 40 yards out, sent toward the net. Loose ball, and Tobin has it. We got 3:10 remaining. And I said Sinkler. Again, Brandis is in goal for Florida Tech. And I think Sinkler's probably going to get credit for the shutout, though. All right, ball out of bounds. Tampa throw-in. This one will go back in the Panther end. Comes up to Tobin over the midfield line. Feeds it up ahead. Jauregui to Ormerod. Katie. Right side, Jauregui. And now back to midfield to Tobin. Daniela, touch pass. Posner to Ormerod, trying to center it. Sent out by Tampa toward midfield, actually shy of midfield. Loose ball. Tampa trying to break out. And there's a little shove there. Boy, the official let that one go. He had a perfect view of it. Here's George. Back out Modershed. She chipped it toward the net, and Modershed's down on one knee. Not quite sure what happened, but she is down. And now she's up. Comes back in the Panther end. We have 90 seconds to go in the match. Nice move by Duarte. Left side, George, but taken away by the Spartans. Modershed defending, steals the ball. And we got a foul on Modershed. As we are coming up on the minute mark of this one, it's going to be a happy night in Pantherland. Both over in Tampa and here. Again, the Panther men winning tonight, 3-2. And I'll tell you, I'll have to look at the Sunshine State Conference standings tomorrow, particularly for the men, because I mean they could literally jump from 5th to 2nd place depending on what Nova, Palm Beach Atlantic, and Rollins are doing tonight. And I think there are some other Monday night games on the men's side. There's really nothing in the women. Barry's playing a non-conference match. But this is the only women's matchup in the SSC tonight. All right, loose ball. We got a half a minute to go. There's a shot by Tampa. It's going to be off the net, so that was a shot. That'll be shot number 2 with 20 seconds to go, and this one is about to wrap up. Brandis is in no hurry to get to the ball. Panther bench starting to clap and celebrate. Down to 10 seconds to go. Brandis passed it out, and that will do it. The Panther home season ends with a winner as the Panthers win it by the score of 3-0 over Tampa. Again, all the goals for Florida Tech were scored in the first half. Recapping, 14-11 in. It was Oxley scoring her second, and it was off a header, off the assist from Tobin. And then 7 minutes later, Pachaji scored her third of the year. Assist went to Marta Yopis. And then Yopis, just a minute 14 seconds later, getting the scoring column, scoring her 9th of the year, unassisted, 22:50 mark of the first half. And it was more than enough for Florida Tech as they defeat Tampa by the score of 3-0. So Florida Tech with the win. They improved to 10-2-2 and 7-1-1 in the Sunshine State Conference. They will definitely hold on to first place. Will they clinch first place? Well, they still have to play Barry on Thursday night. And certainly if they beat Barry, they will win the regular season conference title, which last year they shared with Embry-Riddle, but they did get the number 1 seed due to a tiebreaker. And again, for Tampa, very unusual record. That's only their second loss of the year. Their other loss was to Rollins on the road, and this loss is to Florida Tech on the road. They're 5 wins, 2 losses, 7 ties, and 1-2-6 in the Sunshine State Conference. They were in a tie for 7th with Eckerd, and they might very well drop to 8th place. And again, 8th place is the cutoff point this year to make the SSC tournament, as they're allowing 8 teams to play in the tournament this year. All right, I'm J.C. Meyerholtz. I will not be here Friday. We'll have a substitute doing the game on Friday. I've got some other things to do, but we'll be back here Friday for the men as the Panther men, again, celebrate a 3-2 win over Tampa tonight. They'll be home for their regular season home finale Friday against Barry. So good luck to the men and good luck to the women. They will play the day before on Thursday on the road at Barry. My thanks to everybody who makes my life wonderful out here. Jason Mario signing off. Panther women win 3-0. I will definitely talk to you next Monday. We could have a doubleheader of soccer for the quarterfinal round of the Sunshine State Conference Tournament. So keep posted at FloridaTechSports.com, and we'll let you know